Today, we're going to meet with the owner of BMA, Boris Mannsfeld himself. We're here at the airstrip in Placencia waiting for his arrival. There he comes now. Hey, how was your flight?
Oh, flight was great.
Okay, well,
Yeah, the weather's been really nice. Good to be back.
Welcome back.
Always good to be back.
Always good to be back.
For our interview, we sat down in a 4-bedroom penthouse suite belonging to Boris at the Villas at Coco Plum. This is one of the largest condominium developments in the country, and it's actually owned by Boris. So let's get to know him a little bit better and see why he likes Placencia so much.
So, I've seen you actually before because I'm a big fan of HGTV.
Oh, great. Okay.
So I did see you on a couple of the episodes with Belize, and whenever Belize is on the TV, I'm just glued in.
Oh, good.
So how long have you been doing real estate here? It's interesting that you would be on HGTV.
Yeah, I've been doing real estate here about 30 years. I started in 1992 when I started traveling down here, and I started looking at the market and buying up properties here and there and flipping some of them. Some of them I kept, and so I've been going at it for 30 years now here,
Oh, nice.
all in Placencia.
And so you had real estate experience before you came.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I developed property in Colorado for a long time, and I got my MBA in Colorado, and I worked for a big international German-based real estate company for a while.
Okay, so lots of experience there.
Yeah, I've been going at it it's been my whole career. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question. Why did you choose Belize?
That's a good question.
As opposed to, any other Caribbean country. I know you've been all over.
Yeah, I've been all over, a bunch of countries, did a lot of traveling. I think, originally what brought me here was just luck. Somebody told me to go to Belize to see the rainforest, and because it was supposedly vanishing in Brazil at the time. So I came to Belize to look at the rainforest, and I came and sort of fell in love with the country and started coming back all the time and started investing in the real estate market and all that. But there are many reasons why I invest here and why I sort of fell in love with it. I think that one of the biggest factors is it's English speaking, so it's easy to understand the laws and read your contract when you buy stuff. But it's also easy to communicate with people, not just in a business perspective, but especially on more of a friendly personal relationship level, because you can meet the local people, everybody interacts, you get to make friends, and it really forms more of a community. And I think that's one of the biggest factors.
I think that's what most people say too when I meet them. I'm a local. I
Yeah.
speak good English.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, you speak so good.
Yeah, it helps, right?
Yeah.
When foreigners come in or tourists, and you can interact,
And you become friends. So
you become
quickly.
friends, yeah. And I explain to people, like, it's just like when I meet the cab driver, I can actually have a conversation like, where are you from and what do you like to do and do you have kids and what's your favorite restaurant? If I go to Mexico, I speak a little bit of Spanish, but let's say I go to France, unless they speak English, I couldn't communicate with the cab driver, and I couldn't find out that local information or have that local feeling and community. And that's one of, I think, the biggest things that draws me to Belize, especially Placencia, because Placencia is its own sort of unique market in Belize in itself, because we're a very tight community. So I think that was a really big factor. Also, the fact that the people are super, super friendly, and they really appreciate foreigners. I've traveled a lot of countries where you go there and you can just sense right away that they don't want you there, and and sometimes actually be rude. Where here, everybody's so friendly, and it's one of those genuine friendliness. Because I've lived in places and been places where people act friendly, but it's just because they want something from you, or they want money, or they want they basically want something. Where here, it's just everybody's just super happy and super friendly, and I think that helps a lot for the tourism. And if it helps with the tourism, then it leads to more business, and so it's a good place to invest, because especially if you're investing like hotels or condominiums or anything that has to do with tourism, because more tourists are going to come.
Yeah.
So
That thing you said about the people is so true, but I didn't realize that as a local myself, I didn't realize that until I went to other countries.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, people in Belize are really, really
Very,
happy-go-lucky.
yeah. I mean, some of them don't have a lot, but they have a lot in terms physically, like and monetarily, but they have a lot in terms of spirit and family and relationships. So they're really all very content here.
And we all love Belize.
Yeah.
We all love it.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
like, each one of us is like a tour guide.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But in terms of a business perspective, I mean, yeah, it's a challenge to invest your own money into a foreign country. I mean, there's a lot of research and a lot of trust and a lot of factors that come into those situations that you have to balance everything. And I think some of the big benefits in Belize are that, you know, you get title, you get fee simple title to your property. So you own it as a foreigner and you get the same rights as locals. You get to own your property outright forever and ever, which is great because then you can't like lose it. And a lot of people work very hard for their money, so they don't want to invest in something and then it goes away. Also, the fact that you have British law, so it's easy to understand the purchase agreements for real estate. You also have British, you know, the court system, so it's more of a sort of Western type court system. So if you do have to go to court, you can at least understand what's going on. That's important. So you have a lot of property rights. You also have very low taxes, low property taxes, no capital gains tax, very low income tax. You have a lot of low taxes, which is important for a lot of people, especially investors, because you know when you invest in something, you don't want all your money going away in taxes. So that's another big factor here, and the fact that it's a growing market. I mean, the real estate market's growing, the tourism's growing, the economy's growing. So there's a lot of growth in the economy here, and it's not like people that invest now, especially in the real estate market, they're not buying at the very top of the market where you don't have any more growth, and you're not buying at the very bottom where you don't know when it's going to pick up. You're sort of buying at a great time right now because the market is growing, there's security and there's growth and there's opportunity.
What's the market like specifically right now? I mean, COVID just happened, and what was that like?
Well, COVID was challenging for everybody. The airport closed for 8 months. So when COVID hit that March and everything shut down, they closed the airport around the world, everything sort of came to a screeching halt. So March was tough because nobody knew what was going to happen, and everybody was sort of in a panic everywhere. And you know, I don't know if you remember, but you know, toilet paper was gone, the food was gone, toothpaste was gone, everybody was freaking out. And here, for the first month, everything slowed down, especially with the real estate market and tourism for sure. It just came to a screeching halt. However, after I think that first month, the real estate market here boomed. It was a complete shock to everybody. We didn't see it coming, but demand picked up. People were buying sight unseen. We were doing virtual tours. People were buying without even coming to Belize. And our real estate activities really picked up during COVID, and it continued through the whole COVID time, especially while the airport was closed. It was closed for 8 months. So the real estate market really did well. And then now, since COVID, I would say it's behind us, but you know, the travel restrictions are gone, and people are traveling again, and people can sort of go freely where they want. So now we're getting even more people come down to buy because they can actually come here. And those people are realizing, hey, you know, this is a great place, everybody's friendly, it's a great place to invest. And I think during COVID, everybody got that itch to go abroad and to invest abroad and to, you know, enjoy life more and to spend more time with family. So now people are coming down here and saying, oh, this is a great place, let's just buy a place and start coming down more often. So the real estate market is continuing to grow in a healthy pace too.
I've actually seen some people come down and they just came for vacation and they ended up buying a house.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people right here, right now, from Colorado that are staying here at the Villas of Coco Plum. They're just renters. They're actually supposed to come December, and they couldn't because they actually all got COVID, so they couldn't come. So Herbert, who's the property manager here, he was very nice and gave them credit, said, come whenever you can. And so they came and visited. I think they've been here a couple of days now. And now they're like, this place is great. So they're thinking about buying. So, you know, which is good for everybody.
And the weather is almost always amazing here, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, today it's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's sunny and breezy. And, you know, we get rain here and there, but in general, it's good weather. Yeah. Especially in the winter when it's cold back in the States or Canada.
Well, you know what? It sounds like Belize is just such a very unique place to be and to invest in. But why did you choose, of all the country, because the country is beautiful, the whole country, but why Placencia as opposed to, like, say, Ambergris Caye or any of these other places that are so popular?
Yeah, you know, Ambergris Caye has always been the most popular place in Belize, and especially the town of San Pedro. And that's the first place I went to in Belize when I came in '92. I went to San Pedro, stayed at Ramon's, which is the famous resort there, and just thought it was great. But I soon came back after that and traveled through the rest of the country. And when I got to Placencia, which I took a bus at the time, it took about 12 hours to get here. Yeah, it was a long trip.
And the road was not.
The road was messed
Not
up. It was along the
paved.
beach. The Hummingbird wasn't even here then, the highway. So it was a long road trip to get here. But as soon as I got here, I got that vibe of like, this place is great. And that's what a lot of people feel when they come to Placencia. They're like, just something about it just sort of draws people here. And what I like about Placencia is we're on a peninsula, so we have all the benefits of being on the beach. We're known to have the most beautiful beaches in Belize. And so we have all the ocean stuff, and we have hundreds of islands out here to visit and go scuba diving and snorkeling and sailing. But we're part of the mainland, so we have the jungle and the mountains and the coffee plantations and the chocolate farms. It's all just behind us by 30 minutes away. So you can do in Placencia everything that you want to do in Belize. You can go cave tubing and sailing, and you can do everything within a couple of hours of here.
Like it's a great base. It's a great
base.
Base to be. You could go out to the islands
Yeah.
just for the day. Or the peninsula is only like 16 miles
Yeah.
long. So you could just drive right out of it
Yeah.
and go to see a mine ruin.
Yeah, there's a lot to do here, and it's also one thing I like about Placencia. It's not very pretentious. People come here. There's plenty of people who come here have lots of money, but they're low key. They're not flashy, so it's more of a. It's not so flashy like some places, and it's more homey and it's just more comfortable. People really don't care what you have, or what you don't have, and I really like that about Placencia. And I also like the fact that in terms of an investment, there's not a lot of big development parcels here, so there's not going to be this massive, huge projects here, like giant hotel projects, giant condominium projects, because there are no big pieces of land available. Okay. And also most of the property along the beach is single-family lots. So you have a lot of development going on, but it's mainly beach homes that are being built. So you're not going to be overrun by these huge projects, which you have in a lot of other countries, or like in Mexico, like Cabo San Lucas and Cancun, or even San Pedro. I mean, you got some, or Ambergris Key, you got some really big projects, and that brings just a lot of people at once, and it's just overwhelming. And we don't have that here, so it's more of a community feel here.
So you really get to keep that community.
Yeah, and it's, people ask me all the time, oh, you've been coming here for 30 years, so it must be so different. It is different in terms of now you can get pizza. When I first came here, you got pizza one night a week at one place.
Yeah, different places now you can get lots of different.
We didn't have coffee shops. We actually had no water. We had to wait at the water station to get water and fill up your little water canisters. We had no kayaks at the time, no bicycles, and obviously no restaurants.
People love to bike here.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, and all ages, all different walks of life. Just like you say, some people have a lot of money, some people don't, but you don't even know because like all of them are riding bikes or like
so it's a real
go-karts.
active community. I like that too. So things have changed, but what hasn't changed here is the atmosphere, the community feel, that all is still the same, and it's I think it's going to continue mainly because there's not these huge development projects down here.
It's definitely a place to come and really appreciate life.
Yeah, it really is.
Really appreciate the beauty too of the world and all of
The
that.
peace and
the peace.
the wind and hearing
But
the birds.
you don't have to give up like any of the amenities.
No.
Because Placencia has such beautiful homes and you can get pretty much everything. You got Wi-Fi, internet.
Yeah,
and all
Wi-Fi,
this.
and then all the great restaurants.
And
now we have another coffee shop, so we have like multiple coffee shops now. We have a couple of wine bars. There's a gelato restaurant, a gelato ice cream store. There's another ice cream store coming. I mean, you get your hair cut now.
I got my nails done too.
You got your nails.
Right here. So everything you need is right here on this little 16-mile peninsula. So it makes sense. It makes sense why anyone would want.
But we also don't have McDonald's, no Burger King, no Target. There's no name brand stuff on the peninsula. Well, we don't need it. No Starbucks.
But I mean, if you wanted that stuff, there's Chetumal right there.
Yeah,
Because Belize
in
is bordered
Mexico.
to Mexico.
Yeah.
And a lot of people find that if they want to enjoy that stuff, it's just like 2-3 hours away.
Four
From here, yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
Belize City is just a couple hours, yeah. Yeah,
So-
then you got Office Depot, Home Depot, everything that you want.
Yeah,
And Burger
anything
King if you want your
need,
hamburger.
you can get, for sure.
But I think everything's good here, what we have, which, I think it's great for everybody. There's plenty of stuff here for everybody to enjoy. And I think these days everybody's trying to get away from all the materialism and the overconsumption, and now with the environmental issues coming up on board, everybody's getting more green. Everybody's trying to reduce consumption and help out more, and this is a great place for it because you really don't need much here. You need a couple of t-shirts, a couple pair of shorts, some flip-flops, toothbrush.
Sometimes you don't even need flip-flops.
No, you go barefooted.
You've come in the office many times without flip-flops.
Yeah, I go
just
barefooted.
As
much as I can.
But also another thing is that a lot of people want to be eating more healthy, and here people are asking for organic food. Like everywhere you go, the food is organic. Pretty much, you got produce everywhere. Just a couple of miles down, you'll see a different fruit store, different vegetable
Pineapple,
shop.
papaya, mangoes, and then obviously all your rice and beans and everything else. Yeah, the food's great here, and it's homemade. It's not mass produced. It's not like pre-made, and it's great. Yeah, and so I think most people eat pretty healthy here. And another thing is, the peninsula has become way more of an active community too. I mean, years ago there was no one here doing any exercise. I mean, if I was running down the road, I was like the only runner, and the other people are running running away from something, right? They had to run. But now you got, there's a 5 a.m. bike group now that goes out at 5 in the morning, which is pretty early. There's, yoga's gotten really popular.
Yes, I love yoga. So
yeah, there's yoga, and there's swimming in the ocean. There's all kind of wellness stuff going on, and there's gyms now where you can go through boot camp, and we have a marathon every year.
Yes, I heard about the marathon, and it's become very popular on social media. Even among the locals, people come here just to run the marathon.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people running their dogs too, so you can totally just bring your pets to Belize as well.
Yeah.
That's an easy process too. So there's really no reason not to come.
Become more active, which I like too. It's not just hanging out and doing nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is good too.
Well, thank you for sharing those insights with us.
Definitely.
Next time, we're going to talk a little bit more about in depth that process,
Okay.
how it works to buy property here. Like you see something you want, what do you do next?
Yeah, it's pretty easy, but it's just some detail to it that's got to be followed. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, we'll definitely talk about that next time.
Okay, great. I appreciate your interview. Yeah, thanks so much.
Let me do a shake hand.
Yeah.
Bye. See you next time.